It's time now for the best high school sports action from the WBCB Sports Network. Catch the best games from Bucks and Mercer County at WBCBSports.com and our Facebook page. Your home for high school sports is right here at WBCB 1490.
I really think what I said from my memory and messages that it was the Truman game was like 8 or 9 million. I'm sorry, not million, thousand. That was getting during the website era. So I really
2025 North Penn Marching Knights under the direction of Joe Santinello, Sean Haddad, and Chris Thompson.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, proven.
1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
Parents, are you looking for an athletic performance coach for your child with over 25 years of experience? Coaches, are you looking for a strength and conditioning coach that has coached youth to professional teams to record success? Your only choice is the Kalinowski Performance Academy. The Kalinowski Performance Academy is the area leader in personal, group, team academy prep, and return to play training. The Kalinowski Performance Academy believes that everyone should have an opportunity to be their best. Go to trainlikecal.com to be Cal's next success story. That's trainlikecal.com, spelled K-A-L.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Kent's Tree Service, right here in Lower Bucks County, 23 years of expert tree service, emergencies, 24/7 service, is your trusted professional for any tree service needs that you have. Kent's Tree Service, many years of experience successfully providing tree services here in Lower Bucks County and even parts of Montgomery County. Their whole team provides the utmost care when working on your property and are experts you can trust for any tree removal, tree trimming, lot clearing, and so much more. Bonded and insured, you can be assured of professional results from their highly experienced service professionals. Kent's Tree Service, quality tree service, right here in Lower Bucks County. Call them today at 215-547-9744. That's 215-547-9744. Kent's Quality Tree Service. 23 years of expert tree service.
A proud supporter of Neshaminy Skins high school football on WBCB Sports is the N Club. Don't forget to visit the snack stand at the game tonight for some yummy treats and show your Neshaminy pride. Check out the Pride Wear tonight for all of your merchandise. And a special thank you to our sponsors: Chick-fil-A Neshaminy, Automotive Training Center, Bailey's Bar and Grill, Code 3 Records Artist Services, Fireside Inn, First National Bank of Newtown, Frank Ferry, JJKL Construction LLC, Patient First, Sandy's Beef and Ale, and Travel Services by Tiffany.
Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, Call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
From Crawford Stadium in Lansdale, Pennsylvania, we welcome you to the PIAA District 1 Class 6A semifinals on WBCB, where tonight the 11 seed Neshaminy Skins look to advance to a district championship game for the first time in 12 years as they take on the reigning D1 6A runner-ups, the second-seeded North Penn Knights. And a pleasant good evening to all of you. Alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Gallagher, I'm Jordan Hirsch. Well, for Neshaminy, they're fresh off an electrifying 49-21 win over Owen J. Roberts in the quarterfinals last week. The Skins' offense exploded for 7 touchdowns, and the 49 points were the most since the final game of the 2020 season, and the most in a playoff game since the District 1 4A quarterfinals in 2013 as part of their most recent district title run. Of course, you don't make it to mid to late November without superstars. That 2013 squad, well, they were led by one of the all-time great Neshaminy quarterback-running back duos in quarterback Tyler Wambo and running back DeAndre Pollard. And this year's tandem of Michael Eckert and Carter Klee, they now look to follow in their footsteps. And now you may be asking yourself, why bring this up now with Neshaminy still needing 2 wins to achieve district supremacy? Well, the answer, my friend, it's because it was North Penn that the Skins upended in the 2013 district finals, and for Eckert, Klee, and the rest of the kids from the Ridge to etch their name in the history books, they will have to get past this familiar postseason foe.
And this Neshaminy team, Jordan, man, what a journey it's been for them the last couple weeks to tail off the regular season and into the postseason, starting on the road against Central Bucks West, an environment that's always been tough to win, and an environment tonight that is going to be another challenge for them, as North Penn Knights are 14-0 in the last 2 years here in this building. So the Road Warriors are going to come out to play tonight in order for this Neshaminy team to be successful. And with something we've seen the last 2 weeks of them, a lot of slow starts for Neshaminy. They've bounced back and found ways to win and done it in convincing fashions. But does that eventually catch up with them tonight in a tough environment, a building that not too many teams have been successful in the last several seasons? Michael Eckert will be his toughest challenge tonight for Neshaminy.
Now for North Penn, they can thank some mid-season adjustments and a spirited speech from their head coach, Dick Beck, as the reason they now find themselves back in the district semifinals for the second consecutive year. Following back-to-back losses in Week 4 and Week 5 against Neshaminy and then Penridge, Beck stated his team had to look in the mirror and ask themselves if they were working hard enough. Since then, their hard work has certainly paid off. North Penn has ripped off 7 straight wins, the last 6 of which have been by 3 scores or more. They are certainly hitting their stride at the perfect time. The Knights, they're led by the fearsome running back duo of Navy commit, senior Matt Pinnell, and junior speedster Riley Gray, who combined for 6 touchdowns in their 43-14 stomping of Souderton in last week's quarterfinals. Nick, while this North Penn team has dangerous weapons up and down their roster, it's the ground game that has really been the catalyst for them.
Yeah, and that's something they're going to look to do right off the bat. You can expect a lot of heavy run packages throughout the night, keeping their guys fresh. Riley Gray and Matt Pinnell are the two-headed monster Neshaminy is going to have to stop. Now, the big thing is these two teams met earlier this season. Neshaminy victorious 18-14 at their home building, but the roles are reversed tonight as Neshaminy on the road, North Penn earning the number 2 seed in this tournament as they look to get back to the district title game. But it's funny, too. Last time Neshaminy was in this building, they got blown out 37-7. Last year, Eckert only had 77 yards and an interception for the game's only Neshaminy touchdown. And so a double revenge factor, if you will. Both teams winning at home the last 2 times these teams have met up face-to-face.
Well, a trip to the District 1 6A championship game is what's at stake in the 10th postseason meeting all time between Neshaminy and North Penn. Can the Knights, who have won 17 straight inside the friendly confines of Crawford Stadium, keep up their home cooking and get back to the finals? Or will it be the Skins punching their ticket for the first time in a dozen years? Find out next, because kickoff between Neshaminy and North Penn is coming up right after this on WBCB.
Parents, are you looking for an athletic performance coach for your child with over 25 years of experience? Coaches, are you looking for a strength and conditioning coach that has coached youth to professional teams to record success? Your only choice is the Kalinowski Performance Academy. The Kalinowski Performance Academy is the area leader in personal, group, team academy prep, and return to play training. The Kalinowski Performance Academy believes that everyone should have an opportunity to be their best. Go to trainlikecal.com to be Cal's next success story. That's trainlikecal.com, spelled K-A-L.
This is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. Every champion needs a good game plan. BCWSA and I want to make sure you have a game plan when it comes to conserving our most precious resource, water. Whether you're washing dishes, brushing your teeth, or watering your garden, there are ways you can save water and save money. Visit bcwsa.net for tips on conserving water. BCWSA, proven.
Kent's Tree Service, right here in Lower Bucks County, 23 years of expert tree service, emergencies, 24/7 service, is your trusted professional for any tree service needs that you have. Kent's Tree Service, many years of experience successfully providing tree services here in Lower Bucks County and even parts of Montgomery County. Their whole team provides the utmost care when working on your property and are experts you can trust for any tree removal, tree trimming, lot clearing, and so much more. Bonded and insured, you can be assured of professional results from their highly experienced service professionals. Kent's Tree Service, quality tree service, right here in Lower Bucks County. Call them today at 215-547-9744. That's 215-547-9744. Kent's Quality Tree Service. 23 years of expert tree service.
A proud supporter of Neshaminy Skins high school football on WBCB Sports is the N Club. Don't forget to visit the snack stand at the game tonight for some yummy treats and show your Neshaminy pride. Check out the Prideware tonight for all of your merchandise. And a special thank you to our sponsors: Chick-fil-A Neshaminy, Automotive Training Center, Bailey's Bar and Grill, Code 3 Records Artist Services, Fireside Inn, First National Bank of Newtown, Frank Ferry, JJKL Construction LLC, Patient First, Sandy's Beef and Ale, and Travel Services by Tiffany.
Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Today's game on WBCB is being brought to you by BCWSA, the St. Mary Medical Center, the Revere Restaurant, Team Toyota, Kent's Tree Service, the N Club, Kalinowski Performance Academy, Peruzzi Auto Group, the Trentonian, the Irish Rover Station House, Haldeman Ford, and Discount Auto. Neshaminy will get the ball first in this district semifinal matchup, and off we go from Lansdale with a line drive kick fielded by Williams at the 9. Williams across the 30 and taken down at the 34, and a 25-yard return for the junior. And now out comes the Skins offense led by senior quarterback Michael Eckert, the recently named SOL National Conference Player of the Year. Eckert this season, 174 for 244, 2,493 passing yards, 31 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. Eckert enters this game 2 passing touchdowns away from tying the all-time Neshaminy record for passing touchdowns in a single season, set back in 2016 by Mason Jones. First play from scrimmage, Eckert to the ground and ridden down after a gain of a few by Marcellus Kimber. Takes it to the 37, that's a pickup of 3. It's not the only milestone we're looking out for with Eckert tonight, Nick. Eckert also 264 passing yards away from breaking that single season record, which was also set by Mason Jones back in 2016. That one's a little further out of reach maybe for Eckert. He would have to set a career high in passing yards for that. And he goes to the air for the first time, and that one's brought in on the outside by Nick Sassano. He's across the 40 to the 41. It sets up 3rd down and 4. They say he was brought down at the 40. Eckert last week, 12 of 18, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns, 17 carries for 100 yards, and another TD. Michael Eckert meeting the moment in this postseason. On 3rd and 4, to the air, slant route, hauled in by Williams, and I think forward progress is going to give him enough to move the chains. For Williams this season, the leading receiver on this Neshaminy squad came into this game 727 yards. He added 77 of those last week. They say he was a half a yard short, which makes it decision time for head coach Nick Felis. The Neshaminy offense is out there. You want to come on the road and beat North Penn. Nobody's done it since 2023. You got to be aggressive. 4th and a half a yard. Play action. Wide open. There's Williams for a 1st down and more. Down the sideline and out of bounds into Knights territory.
Great play call. Great play design. Knights thinking Carter Klee going to get it with only a yard to go. Nice out route for Williams. Get some space, and he does the rest. Gets the Skins 1st down.
Really, this entire season, Brock Williams has been Eckert's favorite target, and he's already hit him twice tonight. 1st and 10 now from the 45 of North Penn. Eckert again to the air. Again, it's a quick throw, and it's dropped by Bobby Lagler. Struggled with those drops last week. They were on a pair of deep balls, and that's one that you know Lagler wanted to haul in, and now you wonder if maybe he's in his own head a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like he was trying to move forward before he even had possession there. Last 3 targets for him have been drops. You wonder if they're going to try to get him early involved in the offense here to get him going and back mentally straight.
2nd and 10 to the ground with Carter Klee. And I think the ball came out there at the end. North Penn says they have it. Waiting on an official signal. And I believe the ball did come out, but Carter Klee fell back on top of it. It's a gain of a yard for Klee. Sets up 3rd and 9. Carter Klee, of course, with an all-time performance last week. 4 touchdowns in the quarterfinal win over Owen J. Roberts. 3rd and 9. North Penn sends pressure. Eckert steps up and goes down. Dropped for a sack by Darren Berner. And the linebacker ends this Neshaminy drive and will force them to punt. And it'll be the Knights getting the ball after Darren Berner picks up the sack of Eckert.
We've seen time and time again this season, Eckert usually escaping those kind of pressures and kind of finding the space he needs to escape. Unable, as the Knights bring extra pressure. O-line couldn't hold up. Neshaminy forced the punt on their opening possession.
Tristan Rivera unavailable once again, meaning Michael Eckert will handle the punting duties. Did a nice job last week. And his first one here is a beauty. Checks up at the 35 and takes a North Penn hop. Kicked it away from the Navy commit, Matt Pennell. Nick, we're going to be calling Pennell's name all night. Him and Riley Gray, we talked about it in the pregame. They are the straws that stir the drink for North Penn. Combined for 6 touchdowns last week. Pennell had 3 on the ground. Gray had 2. And then North Penn got a little tricky. It was Riley Gray throwing a touchdown pass to Matt Pennell on that route of Souderton. Yeah,
it just shows the kind of plays the Knights have in their bag, in their back pocket. You can unleash them at any time with their receivers and their backs. Buckstar is a good quarterback too. A lot for Neshaminy's defense to handle tonight in a revenge game for the North Penn.
Matt Buckstar gives it to Pennell, and he's got space down the sideline. And on his first touch, Matt Pennell takes it into Neshaminy territory, picks up the 1st down. Well, him and Carter Klee, they were both named to the All-SOL National Conference first team this past week. In fact, 8 of the 13 members of that All-SOL National Division first team, they're on the field tonight. For North Penn, they've got Matt Pennell, wide receiver Mason Franick, tight end Wyatt Martin, and their offensive lineman Dominic Tranzilli. Here's a handoff to the speedy Riley Gray for the first time, and he gets bottled up on a run up the middle. Luke Howell and Lucas Stewart were there for the tackle.
Riley Gray with the carry for North Penn.
Well, if you remember back to September 12th when these two teams met at Heartbreak Ridge earlier this season, we did a lot of talking about Riley Gray, one of the most elusive backs in the Suburban 1 League. Tough to bring down if you could even make contact with him. He's got all the Madden buttons working. Here's 2nd and 5, jet sweep action with Pennell. And a good job by the Neshaminy defensive line to stand tall with Owen Schwartz and all SOL national first team selection Milo Makes in there for the stop, and it's just a pickup of 1 for Pennell.
Well, as North Penn does with these double running backs, what is Neshaminy got to do defensively? It's your front 7. We talked about it so much this year, but that's the core of this Neshaminy D line. If they're going to stop and hold off this running attack, which they did earlier in September.
Buxar to the air, over the middle, wide open. That's Mason Franick. Breaks a tackle of Nick Sassano, and then finally gets brought down. That tackle that he broke really only netted him an extra yard. But Mason Franick, guess what? He's another member of the All-SOL National First Team. Was able to find the soft spot in coverage that time, and now North Penn just outside the red zone on the Neshaminy 22. The Knights looking to get back to the District 1 6A championship game. They fell to Downingtown West last season. They've won 7 district titles here in Lansdale. Right up the gut, it's Pennell breaking through. Nick Sassano finally wrestles him down. Pennell was able to just slither his way really through the first 2 waves of defense that time. That's something that Pennell does really well. Whenever it looks like he may be bottled up, he'll find a way to break free, and that's how he goes for most of his big gainers. They say it's enough for a first down, so 1st and 10, North Penn on the 12. Buxar turns, right back to Pennell it goes, and not much doing that time for the Navy commit. Owen Schwartz and Milo Makes right there to jam him for just a gain of a couple of yards. It's going to be a real interesting running back battle in this game. Riley Gray, Matt Pennell for North Penn, Carter Klee for Neshaminy. Right now, Pennell is the feature back for this Knights squad. Last week, it was Riley Gray who had 15 carries for 187 yards. Most of that damage coming in the second half against Souderton. 2nd and short, give to the fullback. That's Aiden Ashley, and he's thrown back by Mark Ilkovic. Looks like just a gain of a yard that time for Ashley, and another 3rd down and long situation for the Knights.
No gain on the play. 3rd down and 7 for the Knights.
Their quarterback, Matt Buxar, he was named an honorable mention to the All-SOL National Division teams. Cam Maynor, he's the 3rd down back. He's in for 3rd and 7. And he gets the football. That's actually Riley Gray, matter of fact. Tries to break free. And he gets stood up right around the goal line. You think he's got enough for the first down, but not for the touchdown. And so Dick Beck rolls the dice, decides to run it on 3rd and 7. And I guess when you've got Riley Gray as your 2nd string running back, you could do that whenever you want. It sets up 1st and goal North Penn from inside the 2.
A long 3rd down there. You're confident keeping it on the ground. Gray, man, he's got to do it on those long 3rd down and 2nd and long situations. As North Penn knocking on the doorstep early on.
It's a drive that started from their own 39. Looking for them to end it in 6. It's Pennell, and he is in for the touchdown. North Penn right down the field at will, almost entirely on the ground, and Matt Pennell punches it in, and the Knights take a 6-0 lead with 4:44 to go in quarter number 1.
Well, Knights did a good job of mixing things up on that drive, but a heavy dose of the running attack after the Neshaminy punt, and they go right down the field on the Skins to open up the scoring tonight. Place that Neshaminy's been in the last 2 weeks as they've been down early in both their playoff games in the 1st and 2nd round.
The place kicker is Matt Marnion, and he knocks it through. He was also an honorable mention as a place kicker. And so it's 7-0 North Penn. 9 plays, 61 yards right down the field. It ends in 7. The Knights have the early lead in this one, and I'll let you know that 2 names synonymous with excellence in Bucks County is Neshaminy football and the McCafferty family. And still doing business in Lower Bucks County is Patrick McCafferty, owner of Discount Auto on Business Route 1 in Langhorne. Over 100 hand-picked pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, all fully inspected and ready to go. Since 1951, the name McCafferty has stood for outstanding sales and service, and today Patrick McCafferty continues that tradition at Discount Auto. Trailing in the first quarter, Neshaminy no stranger to this in the postseason. They've been down by 14 in each of their first 2 games.
I believe you said it last week, partner, that Neshaminy just plays that game where they get you right where they want you when they trail, and then they just turn it on and their team becomes completely different.
Bit of a risk that time. Williams let it bounce into the end zone. And this drive will begin from the 20 for Neshaminy. See if they try to get Carter Klee a little bit more involved on this drive. Klee last week, 12 carries, 146 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the touchdown catch as well. How about Carter Klee rising to the moment in his 3 postseason games? 49 rushes, 392 yards, that's 8 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns. Also that touchdown through the air that he added last week. From their own 20, there's Klee, follows a blocker, and he's got a pickup of 8, finally ridden down by Lucas Oropeza. They're gonna give him 9 yards on that, how about that? Oh, now they'll set him right in the middle at 8, so second down and 2. New look, little empty set. Klee comes into the backfield, he gets the football, and he tries to get around the edge and cannot. Klee brought down maybe just a yard that time. The linebacker, Nate Shepian, with the ankle tackle. And so it's 3rd and a yard. Really 3rd and an inch with where they've got this football set up at. And now we'll get a whistle, and they're gonna say move the chains. Man, I did not think that Klee had enough for the first down, but the officials on the field say otherwise. They saw where they placed that football, and they were like, you know what, we might as well. On 1st and 10, right back to the ground with Klee. He stutter stepped. He's able to get a couple of yards out of that. But it's a pickup of just 2 there for Klee. Sets up 2nd and 8. Got a chance to talk with Carter Klee last week as our player of the game, and when I was down there on the field, I noticed that on his back pad, he had a $5 bill taped to it, which of course probably just because he's number 5, but I found it interesting because of course he also had 4 scores last week.
Oh.
2nd and 8, Eckert over the middle, and Mike Sassano can't hang on. Well, I guess for Sassano, he'll get a pass with how good he's been over this postseason, really the last game of the regular season against Pennsbury as well. But something to keep an eye on now. That's already a pair of drops for Neshaminy in their first true drives.
And not to blame the weather tonight. It's not super cold. It is a little bit windy down here, but I mean, not usually a pass that Sassano does come up with. I think it just hit him in the forearm there.
3rd and 8. All too often this season, this has been Brock Williams' time. You almost get a feel that this is a pretty big play early in this one after North Penn went right down the field and scored. Play action, Eckert. He'll have to roll, squares the shoulders and fires for Lagler, and it's out of his reach. So both Neshaminy drives have netted just 1 first down and will result in a punt. Neshaminy's offense that we've seen so far this postseason, it typically has taken them a quarter to a quarter and a half to get going. So far, they've been able to overcome those early deficits, but going up against North Penn, a North Penn team that is a way different North Penn team than they saw back in week 4. These are the scenarios you really would have liked to avoid if you're Nick Felis. Eckert with another good punt. Pinnell will say let it bounce. This time it takes a Neshaminy roll. and ends up 2 yards back from the previous punt, and this time North Penn will begin from the 37. North Penn, they're led by their 24th year head coach, Dick Beck, 2003 Class 4A state champion, also was in the 2011 4A title game. 16 of the 24 seasons for Dick Beck have resulted in 10 or more wins. You want to talk about a coach that has established just a program of excellence. It's Dick Beck right here in Lansdale.
Yeah, he's done a fantastic job, I should say, even with this program. They're always competitive. They're always in playoff games, in high intense games as well.
Bucksar play action. He likes going long. He's going to do it here. Aiden Ashley's open, and he overshot him. 63 yards and 6 points. We're staring down Aiden Ashley, the fullback right there, who doesn't typically get a lot of those targets down the field, but Bucksar led him a little too far.
Bucksar looking comfortable, though, in that throw, even though he overshot it. A good throw, good read, even into tight coverage by Neshaminy. And that's something this secondary for the Skins has been a little shaky up and down this all season. They've held their own recently, last couple weeks, but they're prone to the big play like that. Won't be surprised if they try it again throughout the game.
On 2nd and 10, here's a jet sweep. Pinnell has a lot of room on the near side of the field. Tripped up around the 45. Nick Sassano's been all over the place on defense so far. Yeah, you mentioned some of the struggles that Neshaminy's secondary has faced at points this season. They're minus Tristan Rivera once again in this game, their strong safety, and certainly have to be aware of this North Penn passing attack because they look to hit the big play. If you're going to give it to them, they're going to take it. 3rd and just a yard. There's Riley Gray. He got close, and where the officials are running in from, he got the first down. He needed 1 and he got 2. Riley Gray moves the chains for North Penn.
Definitely forward progress there. A tight formation by the Knights. Neshaminy trying to match that. And Riley Gray having his way, getting the yardage for the Knights' first down. But you mentioned Jordan too. I mean, with the unpredictability of this offense, as much as they love to run it, I mean, they can hit you at any time, especially if they see Neshaminy stack in the box and bringing the extra man down from the safety. And then all of a sudden, you got one-on-one coverage to the outside.
It's an offense that scored 40 or more points in 5 games this season. Here's a handoff with Pinnell, and nothing really doing that time for the senior. He crossed the 50 to the opposite 49. They'll give him 3 yards that time.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7 for North Penn.
Talked about it in the pregame, North Penn hitting their stride at the right time. They've scored 40 plus in each of their last 3 games, averaging 47 points per game during that span, in wins over Abington to close the regular season, knocked off Boyertown 42-14 in the first round, and then added an extra point, made it 43-14 against Souderton last week. Here's Pinnell again, and look at how tough it is to bring him down. He got close to the first down marker, and pretty much all of those yards coming after contact. I think Rocco Gregory kind of jumped on top of him and aided him for a couple extra of those yards.
He's a tough guy to bring down. So they complement. Pownell and Gray just complement each other so well. Whenever you want to change the pace, Dick Beck's got that at his disposal. It just shows why this team has been so successful here in 2025.
3rd and 1, Riley Gray the back. He gets the pigskin. He gets the first down. You see him put his foot into the ground and elude Mike Sassano that time. Just so elusive, Riley Gray. When he needs a yard, that's just a walk in the park for him.
Good for a North Penn first down. 1st and 10 for the Knights from the 37.
North Penn is part of their 7-game win streak, dating all the way back to the end of September, outscoring opponents 251-81 during that span. They don't have to run another play, and they're just going to let this first quarter clock wind down to triple zeros. Knights are driving. They lead 7-0, 12 minutes down, 36 to go. We'll be right back with the second quarter of action right after this in the PIAA District 1 6A semifinals on
There
WBC.
really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Back here from Crawford Stadium on the campus of North Penn High School, it's the home team, the Knights, number 2 seed in this tournament, leading 7-0. As we begin the second quarter, they're set up in Neshaminy territory on the 37. Designed run with Buxar, and he's got a nice gain across the 25. You don't typically see Matt Buxar use his legs all that much, but he does right there. He moves the chains. He's got the first down. While we have a minute, I'd like to give a special shout out to one of our viewers, Bob from Kent's Tree Service. Kent's Tree Service has been kind enough to sponsor Neshaminy football this season. We got word that Bob's tuning in. Just wanted to give him that special shout out. We appreciate everybody tuning in to this PIAA District 1 6A semifinal matchup. North Penn, they've been in control really from the jump, as Pennell that time tripped up by Lucas Stewart across the 20. Right now, Pennell and Riley Gray, they're getting about 7-8 yards per carry. They're doing it at will.
Yeah, whatever the running play is, they are getting space. The O-line for the Knights is winning up front. Not too many teams this season have been able to win that O-line, D-line battle against Neshaminy.
Another thing that's done is it's just kept the clock moving, and it's kept the Neshaminy offense that just put up 49 points off the field. Here's Gray trying to skirt through, and he does! Riley Gray somehow got out of the pack and into the end zone. And the Knights have scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives. They go up 13-zip.
I don't know how Riley Gray did that. He looked like he was going to be down at the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden came out underneath everybody and found his way into the end zone on an 18-yard scamper.
I think every kid at one point in their life wish they had the superpower of invisibility, and I'm not too sure that Riley Gray doesn't have that superpower. Somehow, some way, was able to find an opening as this kick gets blocked by Mike Sassano. Came around the edge and got the mitts on it, and it keeps the score at 13-0.
The Knights go 63.
Maybe that's not so good for Neshaminy, though, because they've trailed by 14 in their first 2 games, come back to win those. And Sassano, he keeps the deficit at 13 with 10:45 to go until the break.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned in our pregame show, if you've joined us late tonight, I mean, how long can Neshaminy go without that catching up to them? And the competition as you go along in this tournament is going to get tougher and tougher. And yes, they have the experience against the Knights from early in September, but like you mentioned, Jordan, it's a much different Knights team. And trailing on the road so many times is eventually going to wear on you, and you just might not be able to catch up. Tonight, Neshaminy's got now another double-digit lead, or down by, here in the first half.
The biggest adjustment for North Penn after week 5 was on their defense, which maybe is a little bit shocking just considering the fact how good their offense has been during this stretch. Their defense has not allowed over 14 points in their last 6 games. Marnian sends it away. It's fielded by one of the up men. That's Caden Weaver, and I think they're going to say the ball hit the ground. We've got whistles while he was running.
I think they're saying his knee was down. I think his knee was down when he received it.
And that hurts Neshaminy because now they're going to be backed up at the 25. Well, these two teams, this is their 10th all-time meeting in the postseason. The last one came in the district championship game back in 2013, a big 42-7 win for Neshaminy. We talked about Tyler Wambo and DeAndre Pollard. Well, DeAndre Pollard, 25 carries, 242 yards, and 4 touchdowns in that win. Went on to play at Villanova, one of the all-time great Neshaminy running backs. Here's Brock Williams getting the pitch, makes a stutter step, makes a juke move, and can't get out of the grasp that time of, I believe, Darren Berner. Williams has a solid gain. They're going to give him about 4 yards that time. It'll bring up second down and 6.
2nd and 6 for the Skins.
Second nice play by Berner in this one. He had the sack of Michael Eckert, which stalled the first drive for Neshaminy. Eckert to the air, wide open Lagler, and he couldn't bring it down again. There was nobody behind him. He probably would have had a touchdown right there, but it went right through his hands. And that's now 4 drops for Lagler going back to last week.
You got a feel for him at that time. I don't know. It was a good throw. I don't know if it was just something he just had his hands up and just went right through him, and they weren't really ready and set, but tough play for this Neshaminy offense.
So now 3rd and 6. They'll swing it. Williams makes a juggle, makes a spin move, and does he pick up the first down? Yes, he does. Brock Williams just hit circle on his PlayStation controller, and he's able to move the sticks. And a little pick-me-up that time for Bobby Lagler. Williams did that last week, catching the deep ball. He just helps out his teammate right there. 1st and 10. Eckert dashes ahead and gets brought down by an arm tackle that time. Looked like Nate Sheppian had a clotheslined him. Out to the 41. That's a gain of 5 for Eckert. Just the second time he's used his legs in this one. Michael Eckert in his last 5 games over 1,000 yards through the air. In fact, 1,183. Here's a pitch. It's a run play. It's Klee, and nothing doing that time. He gets popped along the sideline by Lucas Oropeza. And another 3rd down. It seems like every Neshaminy series is resulting in these 3rd and mediums.
Knights made a good read off the ball. As soon as the snap was made, they were there. They knew what play was coming. They got to the spot. Set up this 3rd and 5.
Eckert back. Pump fakes. Running out of time. Got to do something with it. He's surrounded, and he is brought down. There is a flag down back where Eckert tried to escape the pocket from. So for now, it's 4th down. We'll check the marker, and I think they're going to get Neshaminy for a hold, which in all likelihood will be declined. And this would be the 3rd consecutive drive for Neshaminy that has netted just that 1 first down to begin the night. Oh, they are backing them up. And an interesting decision. So Dick Beck will accept the penalty, perhaps fearing that Neshaminy would have gone for it in a 4th and 4. It's 3rd and 15. Neshaminy, they have to get it out to the 46. Trailing 13-0, in need of a big play. They'll just set up a screen with Klee, and he's going nowhere but backwards. Well, this Knights defense, they have certainly come into this one ready to play against the top offense in the National Division. And that penalty being accepted ends up benefiting North Penn. It'll set up the 3rd straight punt for Michael Eckert.
Yeah, Dick Beck knows what he's doing there. Took the early dice roll on that decision, and it paid off.
Michael Eckert to punt for Neshaminy.
And now Neshaminy 3 straight punts to open up tonight's game with just a little over halfway to go in the 2nd quarter, and their offense isn't done much, hasn't been able to move the ball successfully at a consistent rate on this North Penn Knights defense.
This is a short punt from Eckert. It's wobbly, bounces right at midfield and scooped up by Carson Schneider at the 48. Before this North Penn drive, I'll let you know that there's great food, fine spirits, and good times that are always on the menu at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, opposite the SEPTA train station. The Irish Rover is your home for all Philly sports and happy hour every Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. You can find them at 1033 South Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne. Well, the task at hand for Neshaminy, on paper it's simple, just stop the North Penn rushing attack. The problem is you're going up against guys like Matt Pinnell and Riley Gray, who already each have a touchdown in this one. And now we'll get a whistle and a timeout called by North Penn before this opening play gets started. And I'll let you know that at Peruzzi Buick GMC, where our business is you, right now, Peruzzi Buick GMC, it's a year-end clearance sale on GMC Sierras. 20% off MSRP on Peruzzi's entire inventory of Sierras. Buicks offered at 0.9% financing and up to $3,000 off MSRP. Extraordinary savings now at Peruzzi Buick GMC on Sierras and Buicks during this year-end clearance sale event. Don't forget, if you missed any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. Well, despite Neshaminy knocking off North Penn back at Heartbreak Ridge in Week 4, the Knights have won 10 of the last 12 meetings against Neshaminy since that 2013 loss in the district finals. 1st and 10, deep drop. Bucks are going deep, wide open, it's Matt Pinnell. Deep into Neshaminy territory, Pinnell brought down inside the red zone. Nobody was in his vicinity, and that's what makes Pinnell so dangerous. Not just a fantastic runner, but he gets involved in the passing attack down the field as well.
And that's what happens for this Knights when you run the ball so well and so effectively in your first few drives. You put points on the board, things open up for them on the backside. And Pinnell is able to come up with the completion, big gain. Another red zone opportunity early in this first half for the Knights.
That time Pinnell was wide open. He had a catch last week in that area of the field where he was triple teamed and still brought it down. Here's Riley Gray, the elusive back, didn't need to be elusive that time. He could have walked into Pater, and all it takes is 2 plays for North Penn. It is 19-0. It is all Knights early on in this one. And Riley Gray again with a multi-touchdown half.
This time it was a 19-yard touchdown run for Gray, as Neshaminy has had no answers for the Knights offensively here in this first half.
Matt Marnion, he had his last PAT attempt blocked. This one, he gets it up, and it is good. And so with 6:51 to go until the break, Neshaminy finds themselves now in a 20-0 hole. North Penn, they're also going to get the football to begin the third quarter as well. So Neshaminy, their offense, they've got to find a way to match North Penn, because a lot of the talk around this game was that it was going to be a shootout. These are two highly talented offenses and two defenses as well that can hold their own for sure. But I think the talk surrounding this game, this entire week leading up, it was about how this game could be, you could see points in the 30s, maybe even into the 40s for both squads. Right now, North Penn is showing why that was being talked about for Neshaminy. They got to find their footing, and they got to find it quick on offense.
Yeah, you need a nice long drive here before the break to get points. If not, you're going to need a touchdown, a stop, and somehow more points if possible. But you just got to get on the scoreboard and get your offense some consistency.
Short kick. It's fielded by Carter Klee, and really nothing after he was able to bring that in around the 30.
Zion Smith. 1st and 10 for Neshaminy.
Well, we've talked about it before, right, Nick? Neshaminy, when they're at their best, you're seeing Michael Eckert get about anywhere between 15 and 25 passing attempts per game. He had 18 attempts last week, 12 of them for completions for 231 yards, and that's because Carter Klee was running wild. He was able to set up that passing game. Down 20-0, this is where we've seen Neshaminy be forced to become one-dimensional at times this season. Here's a handoff to Klee, and Klee puts his shoulder down using that physicality to gain about 4 yards.
Number 5, Carter Klee with the
So at least
carry.
for the first play of this drive, Nick Felis, he's gonna keep it with Old Reliable on the ground.
Neshaminy's had 3 straight games of Michael Eckert and Carter Klee with both rushing over 100 yards, and they've won all season with that formula.
Jet sweep this time. It's Klee again. Just looks a little hesitant right now. Jack Silvers was the one who brought him down. It'll set up 3rd down and 3. But it seems like whenever Klee gets the football, he's kind of bouncing around. He's looking for an opening. And of course, you got to give credit to the North Penn defensive line filling the gaps and the linebackers who've come up and made some plays so far in this run.
Yeah, and you wonder, their game from September back in week 4 is really a good blueprint for them. Carter Klee only had 70 yards in that game, so it's not like he really burnt them. Eckert had a pair of touchdowns, but he didn't do anything spectacular either himself.
And before this 3rd down and 4 play, we'll get a timeout called by Neshaminy. On North Penn, they've already surpassed their point total from that game back on September 12th. Let you know that celebrating 50 years of business and supporting your community is Haldeman Ford, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Neighbors helping neighbors is what Haldeman Ford does and will continue to do. They've got it all, new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, plus work-ready trucks and a great variety of EV vehicles. They're known for their fleet service and state-of-the-art collision center. And coming soon, the area's largest new commercial vehicle center. Haldeman Ford here yesterday, here today, here tomorrow, celebrating their 50th year in business. Fleet of the art is what I've got in front of me right now with the tape job of all the papers through this wind. Here's 3rd and 4, Eckert to the air. There's Mike Sassano. When they need a big play, they go to number 15. And he moves the sticks. He's got the 1st down into Knight territory.
Well, this is the biggest deficit Neshaminy has faced in a very long time, going back to the early stages of this season. I mean, even in their losses, they never trailed this much this year. You're doing it on the road in a tough place to play, as we mentioned. You got to chip away little by little. Knights playing great defense.
Here's Klee. This time he's got some blockers, but again, it's Matt Pennell that time there to get his arm around Klee and bring him down. Just a short gain of 3.
Gain of 3, 2nd down.
Knights are doing a great job tackling in this one. It hasn't necessarily even been these clean driving hits, just getting an arm on whoever's got the football, getting him to the turf. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's play action. Eckert fires across his body. There's the tight end in Lucas Stewart. And he's very close. He's got 6. And it sets up 3rd and a yard.
Eckert's pass is complete to number 88, Lucas Stewart.
Lucas Stewart, he was still rehabbing from that knee injury when these two teams met in mid-September. First target right there to Stewart. He's able to make the grab and gain 6. This has got to be 4-down territory. Here's Klee. They won't even need 4th down. Bouncing off of bodies, staying on his feet. He's across the 30. And that run by Klee gets some of the Neshaminy fans who have made the trip out here to Lansdale. Gets them fired up for really the first time in this game.
Yeah, I like Nick Felis here, being aggressive, keeping with the run even though you're down 3 scores.
Again, it's Klee running to the outside and wrapped up after a short gain once again. Just 1 yard that time for Klee. Nate Shepian spun him to the turf. A lot of off-tackle runs, perhaps trying to go against these defensive ends as opposed to some of the big guys in the middle like Lucas Oropeza and Jack Silvers. Knights have done a good job on Klee thus far. 2nd and 9, empty set. Here comes the pressure. They throw out of it with Sassano, and Nick Sassano on that wide receiver screen takes the pigskin into the red zone. Again, a yard shy of what he needed, sets up 3rd and 1, but for the first time tonight, Neshaminy is in the red area.
Yeah, you're feeling they're starting to get the gears turning here on this drive. Mixed in Klee, and Eckert's made some good passes and good decisions.
3rd and 1, back to Carter Klee, right up the gut, and he's got a 1st down. 3rd and 1 in this game. I think you might as well just move the chains at that point with these two fearsome running backs. Really all three of them, Pennell, Gray, and Carter Klee. Riley Gray was a member of the All-SOL National Conference 2nd team. Some real talented backs in this game. This time Eckert keeps and cannot get out of the grasp of Dominic Transilli. Spins him down to the turf. They're going to give him maybe a half a yard that time. And it brings up 2nd and 9, and this North Penn defensive line, they continue to win the trenches battle.
And that's so important in this game, in this environment. Chamonix dominate a lot of teams when they win, but in their few losses, that's really been a difference maker for them.
Empty set once again. Here comes Klee, play action, Eckert for the end zone. It's brought down by Mike Sassano. The throw was a little high, but when you're as hot as Sassano is, that does not matter. And Neshaminy is on the board with 2:20 to go until halftime. It's 20-6.
Well, we saw a similar throw and catch by Sassano from Eckert last week to get Neshaminy started. And that's something that maybe they can go get back tonight. 30-second touchdown pass from Michael Eckert. 12th receiving touchdown for Sassano.
Steven Busick on for the extra point. Neshaminy looks to just find a way to chip away. They've got it back to a 2-possession game, and the lefty kicker knocks it through. So 20-7 is your score. I'll tell you what, Nick, I think Mike Sassano probably saw what his brother Nick did in the 3rd quarter against Central Bucks West, where he had to leap up for a touchdown grab in that game. And of course, when maybe you've got a little sibling rivalry going on, you know, that touchdown's got to mean something to Mike Sassano as he's able to replicate what Nick did just a couple of weeks ago on the road.
Yeah, almost the mentality of anything you could do, I could do better. The two brothers, it's that sibling rivalry.
Well, nothing's better than the great food, fine spirits, and good times that are always on the menu at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, opposite the SEPTA train station. That's your home for all Philly sports and happy hour every Monday through Friday, 4 to 7 p.m. The Irish Rover Station House, 1033 South Bellevue Avenue in Langhorne. So with 2:20 to go until the break, Neshaminy's task at hand is to now keep North Penn out of the end zone. They've scored touchdowns on their first 3 drives, 2 by Riley Gray, 1 by Matt Pennell. Busick keeps this one on the ground. It's fielded on the run by Gray, and look out! Riley Gray into open field, turning on the Jets, and finally pushed out of bounds around the 20. Well, when you give him a head start like that, that's the kiss of death, right? And now that task for Neshaminy, it's going to become a whole lot tougher with North Penn already set up inside the red zone.
Yeah, 2:12 to go. Pair of timeouts for the Knights. Plenty of time and good field position. And Riley Gray doing everything for the Knights here in this first half. That's just like that. The Knights regain the momentum back in their favor.
It's like a blur. He's able to pick up that football off the hop with the head start. And this drive will begin from the Neshaminy 18. Gotta believe they're gonna keep it to old-fashioned ground and pound football. There you go. There's Matt Pennell driving into the linebackers and getting driven back.
Matt Pennell with the carry for North Penn.
They're gonna give him 4 yards that time. It'll set up 2nd down and 6.
Gain of 4, 2nd down and 6 for the Knights from the 14.
And now if you're North Penn, you're probably thinking, let's try to take some time off the clock as well. You don't necessarily want to score too early and give Neshaminy a chance to respond. This time they'll go with a pistol look. Pennell is the back, and he gets the football. Bounces outside. Pennell, can he find the pylon? No, sir. But he's got enough for the first as Mike Sassano saved a touchdown with that tackle. And 1st and goal again for North Penn. Be 1st and goal from the 2. This is just about as automatic as it gets. This is a very tough task now for this Neshaminy defensive front. Pennell going out of bounds, and also at the first down. It will stop the clock in 1:20. Well, Riley Gray, he's already got a pair of touchdowns. He's the back. They'll give it right to Gray. He powers forward right into the end zone, and it's a first half hat trick for Riley Gray. And these quick strike touchdowns continue to aid North Penn as they're going to take this 3-score lead right back. It is 26-7. This is an offensive onslaught here in the opening half for the Knights. That certainly did not take long, just 1:05 for North Penn to go 18 yards. And I think they're going to try to get those 2 points back that after Mike Sassano blocked the PAT a couple of touchdowns ago. They're going for 2. Play action, Bucksar fires, and it's picked off by Brock Williams.
Pass is incomplete. Intercepted, a 2-point conversion.
And you cannot try to return there.
15 to play in the first half.
I don't think the intended target that time was even paying attention. They were trying to get it to big number 66, Charles Ashley, one of the offensive linemen. Dick Beck, he will deploy some trickery if you let him, and you saw it right there, but it goes for naught, and so it remains 26-7. So 1:15, 2 timeouts. If you're in Neshaminy, you're thinking, okay, let's respond, let's get it back down to 2 scores, and if you can get into the halftime break trailing by 12, maybe you're feeling a little bit better about yourself. But I'll tell you what, none of that's going to matter if North Penn keeps doing what they're doing on offense.
No, it's not. I mean, you hate to say, that pooch kick there by Neshaminy, they thought they were going to try something, catch the Knights off guard, and of course the ball finds Riley Gray's hands, and he does the rest to set the offense up for a quick strike. And after Neshaminy thought they had something going, they're right back down 3 scores.
Fair caught at the 35 by Carter Clee, so they're 65 yards away, although that's going to change because we've got a flag at the tail end of this play.
I believe that's going to be on Neshaminy. Did see some extracurricular after the fair catch.
Dick Beck has given one of his players an earful, Richard Grant, the junior. Upset with him about something. I think he might have been the one to take the penalty because North Penn's defense is backing up. Dick Beck is fired up over on this North Penn sideline. And that's because Richard Grant just cost his team 15 yards, and so Neshaminy will now get the football at midfield.
Well, Neshaminy with half a field to work with and a pair of timeouts. They play their cards right, and if their offense can replicate what they just did in their previous drive, they could find the end zone, but North Penn's defense has been the story against the Neshaminy offense here in the first half. They've held their own on 3 out of 4 Neshaminy drives.
North Penn fake pressure. Here's Mike Sassano on a screen, and he's tackled by Aiden Ashley across the 45, and there's that drive starting wide receiver screen. Pickup of 6, it sets up 2nd down and 4. Neshaminy, they won't use a timeout. They're going quickly, clock under a minute. Klee goes in motion. He gets the football in a little toss play, and he explodes for a first. That'll stop the clock momentarily at 47 seconds. Neshaminy, they've really mastered this hurry up all season long. No strangers to having to operate quickly. They've got 2 timeouts, although right as I say that, some confusion before this play. 1st and 10, clock down to a half-minute remaining in this first half that's been dominated by North Penn. Eckert rolls, and he's just going to throw it away. That play looked doomed from the start, Nick.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. They had 2 guys, I think Klee and Sassano, going back behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know if it was miscommunication or what that was supposed to be.
The only thing I could think of is that it was just a poorly executed option play that we've seen Neshaminy go to during the postseason. It was ugly, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Ball in the 37 for 2nd and 10, just 20 seconds remaining in this half. Eckert, another quick throw. There's Lucas Stewart, and he gets drilled at the 34. Neshaminy is going to have to use one of those timeouts right here.
North Penn tackle by number 37.
That time it was Zion Smith who drilled Stewart after a gain of just 3. Neshaminy stops the clock with 13 seconds to go in the half.
3 on the play will bring up
and it brings up 3rd and 7.
Down and 7 for Neshaminy from the 34.
It's got to be 4-down territory right here, and if you're Neshaminy, it very well could be 4-down territory from here on out. We've seen them make some impressive comebacks in this postseason, and so far, of course, loads of time, down 26-7 with their offense. Game's nowhere near over, but this would be the most impressive comeback, not just of the postseason, but really of recent Neshaminy history, probably.
Yeah, we're talking about game of the year then, around Lower Bucks, if that's the case.
Third and 7. Eckert facing more pressure, can't get away. Brought down by the duo of Marcellus Kimber and Christian Barnes, who each register half a sack, and that's going to do it for the first half. And a first half that really, that's about the way you kind of expected it to end, right? With a big-time sack, second sack of the game for North Penn. They hold a 26-7 halftime lead and will receive the kickoff to start the third quarter. 26-7, North Penn on top. Do not go anywhere. We'll have the Neshaminy Marching Band performance, as well as our halftime show on the other side of this break here on WBCB.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
1490 WBCB, Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties. Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township. Are you living with relentless pain? St. Mary has a new way to help. Knee and hip replacements with a smarter process for faster recovery, earning prestigious awards for quality and value. A rapid recovery program has you walking just hours after surgery, and breakthrough advances such as custom-fit joints position you for a longer pain-free life. 215-710-5888. St. Mary Orthopedics. It's your health. Expect more. Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
Please enjoy our school's fight song, affectionately known as Wash Lee. Next, we will perform part of our ballad from our competitive show. Liquid demonstrates the smooth, flowing, and flexible nature of this state of matter. With Julie Giroux's Ripped and Wed, we accept our emotions for what they are, as our emotional nature of being human. Here is Liquid. We close our show featuring Jack Kidd on trombone with Imogen Heap's Last Night of an Empire, our last state of matter, gas. Gas presents as a free state of matter taking up space wherever it goes. We connect to this state through stepping to places that we belong and being able to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. We also connect with the power to influence wherever and belong where we want, because I matter. Here is gas. Neshaminy High School Marching Band.
Parents, are you looking for an athletic performance coach for your child with over 25 years of experience? Coaches, are you looking for a strength and conditioning coach that has coached youth to professional teams to record success? Your only choice is the Kalinowski Performance Academy. The Kalinowski Performance Academy is the area leader in personal, group, team academy prep, and return to play training. The Kalinowski Performance Academy believes that everyone should have an opportunity to be their best. Go to trainlikecal.com to be Cal's next success story. That's trainlikecal.com, spelled K-A-L.
Kent's Tree Service, right here in Lower Bucks County. 23 years of expert tree service, emergencies 24/7 service, is your trusted professional for any tree service needs that you have. Kent's Tree Service, many years of experience successfully providing tree services here in Lower Bucks County and even parts of Montgomery County. Their whole team provides the utmost care when working on your property and are experts you can trust for any tree removal, tree trimming, lot clearing, and so much more. Bonded and insured, you can be assured of professional results from their highly experienced service professionals. Kent's Tree Service, quality tree service, right here in Lower Bucks County. Call them today at 215-547-9744. That's 215-547-9744. Kent's Quality Tree Service. 23 years of expert tree service.
A proud supporter of Neshaminy Skins high school football on WBCB Sports is the N Club. Don't forget to visit the snack stand at the game tonight for some yummy treats and show your Neshaminy pride. Check out the Pride Wear tonight for all of your merchandise. And a special thank you to our sponsors: Chick-fil-A Neshaminy, Automotive Training Center, Bailey's Bar and Grill, Code 3 Records Artist Services, Fireside Inn, First National Bank of Newtown, Frank Ferry, JJKL Construction LLC, Patient First, Sandy's Beef and Ale, and Travel Services by Tiffany.
Hi, Merrill Reese reminding you to come back home to traditional Italian cuisine at the Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road in Ewing Township. You'll always feel welcome at the Revere. It's like stepping back in time where you'll feel like you're dining in South Philly or New York's Little Italy. Start your meal with complimentary Hoboken bread. Choose from a menu featuring fresh seafood dishes, succulent steaks and chops, or homemade pasta dishes. You can even eat at the bar. The Revere is open 7 days for lunch and dinner. Private room available for special affairs, plus catering. For reservations, call 609-882-6365. That's 609-882-6365. Come home to traditional Italian cuisine. The Revere Restaurant, 802 River Road, Ewing Township.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Hey BCWSA customers, this is Tommy Green from the 1993 National League Champion Phillies. My friends at BCWSA are committed to providing us with safe, reliable water and sewer services. They operate state-of-the-art treatment facilities, provide clean drinking water, and make much-needed investments to protect our environment and ensure a sustainable future. Learn how BCWSA's investments help grow and serve our communities. Visit bcwsa.net. BCWSA, prove it.
1490 WBCB Levittown and Trenton, and video stream live at WBCBsports.com. Your home for the best local sports in Bucks and Mercer counties.
Parents, are you looking for an athletic performance coach for your child with over 25 years of experience? Coaches, are you looking for a strength and conditioning coach that has coached youth to professional teams to record success? Your only choice is the Kalinowski Performance Academy. The Kalinowski Performance Academy is the area leader in personal, group, team academy prep, and return to play training. The Kalinowski Performance Academy believes that everyone should have an opportunity to be their best. Go to trainlikecal.com to be Cal's next success story. That's trainlikecal.com, spelled K-A-L.
Kent's Tree Service, right here in Lower Bucks County. 23 years of expert tree service, emergencies 24/7 service, is your trusted professional for any tree service needs that you have. Kent's Tree Service, many years of experience successfully providing tree services here in Lower Bucks County and even parts of Montgomery County. Their whole team provides the utmost care when working on your property and are experts you can trust for any tree removal, tree trimming, lot clearing, and so much more. Bonded and insured, you can be assured of professional results from their highly experienced service professionals. Kent's Tree Service, quality tree service, right here in Lower Bucks County. Call them today at 215-547-9744. That's 215-547-9744. Kent's Quality Tree Service. 23 years of expert tree service.
A proud supporter of Neshaminy Skins high school football on WBCB Sports is the N Club. Don't forget to visit the snack stand at the game tonight for some yummy treats and show your Neshaminy pride. Check out the Pride Wear tonight for all of your merchandise. And a special thank you to our sponsors: Chick-fil-A Neshaminy, Automotive Training Center, Bailey's Bar and Grill, Code 3 Records Artist Services, Fireside Inn, First National Bank of Newtown, Frank Ferry, JJKL Construction LLC, Patient First, Sandy's Beef and Ale, and Travel Services by Tiffany.
Back here in Lansdale, Crawford Stadium on the campus of North Penn High School, where the number 2 seed North Penn Knights steamrolled their way to a 26-7 halftime lead over the number 11 seed Neshaminy Skins here in the District 1 6A semifinals. And Nick, plain and simple, it was ground and pound football from North Penn in that first half. They scored touchdowns on all 4 of their drives. Matt Pinnell got the scoring started. Riley Gray, he had a first half hat trick. And now for Neshaminy, having to give the ball back to North Penn to start this second half. Their defense, they're going to have to really do a complete 180 if they want to get back in this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out how to stop North Penn's rushing attack tonight and figure out just a way maybe to create a turnover or something. You got to get your defense confidence and just to get them in a mindset where they know they can stop them. At this point, North Penn's in Neshaminy's heads. They've been able to do everything they've wanted to so far. Pinnell and Gray have had their running on the ground, and Bucksar has been there when he needed to throw it, and it's been a really balanced offense so far for the Knights, but we knew there was going to be a ground and pound style for them tonight. And Neshaminy's seen this kind of team many times before. It's just finding an answer, making those adjustments at the halftime is going to be the biggest thing. What are they going to do to try to neutralize the running game and maybe make Bucksar throw a couple passes here and there? And that's where Neshaminy maybe can be at the right spot, right time, get an interception or punch a ball out and get a fumble recovery.
This first drive of the second half is going to be huge, right? Neshaminy, they really can't afford to give up many more points. If you give them another touchdown here, you're down 26 in theory, although North Penn has had some adventurous PATs and 2-point conversions. so far. On the flip side, if you're in Neshaminy and you get the defensive stop and your offense can go down and maybe get one in the end zone, they were able to go down and score at the end of that first half. Mike Sassano making a touchdown grab, and that means for Michael Eckert now, he's one passing touchdown away from tying Mason Jones for the program record for passing touchdowns in a single season. Of course, easier said than done, but if you're able to do that, you could find yourselves down 2 scores, perhaps midway through the third. You could start to crawl your way back into this thing. But it all starts with this first drive. Neshaminy has yet to stop North Penn so far. The special teams battle has certainly gone the way of the Knights as well. And off we go in the second half. It's another rolling kick. This time it's in the direction of Aiden Ashley. He barrels ahead across the 40 down to the 43-yard line, maybe the 42 that time. And Steven Busick was going to do everything in his power to keep that one away from Riley Gray.
Yeah, you don't want Gray to do a little deja vu what he did at the tail end of that second quarter. But it's a tough coaching decision, Jordan, when you figure it out. Like, what do you want to try to do to stop the running game, and then it's just going to open up the passing game. It's just such a hard offense to stop. I mean, Neshaminy did it in September, but like we've said all night, it's been a lot different today.
Here's a give to Gray, spins off of one tackle, bounces to the outside, breaks another, and he's somehow, some way got the first. Well, Carson Schneider looked like he was going to drop Gray for no gain, and we talked about it in the first half. It's almost impossible to bring him down on initial contact. He turns a gain of what would have been nothing into 10 and picks up the first.
It's just so hard to bring down. This is just such ground and pound football weather. The wind tonight, the weather, the temperature here in mid-November.
And now we'll get a whistle and a timeout called by North Penn.
Timeout, North Penn.
So interesting decision by Dick Beck. Burns his first timeout just 32 seconds into the second half. I'll let you know that 2 names synonymous with excellence in Bucks County is Neshaminy football and the McCafferty family. Still doing business in Lower Bucks County is Patrick McCafferty, owner of Discount Auto Business Route 1 in Langhorne.
Admission is just $6 and supports the North Penn High School Student Exchange Program, giving students incredible opportunities each year.
Of course, we don't have official stats so far, but you got to believe the duo of Riley Gray and Matt Pennell, they're probably averaging over 10 yards per carry at this point with some of the big ones that they've broken as well. First and 10, North Penn quickly into Neshaminy territory. This pass leads Pennell and gets him that extra head start. He takes it across the 40 to the 38. And so 2 plays, 20 yards, and 2 first downs. Nope, they're going to say he was a half a yard short. So second down and 1.
Second down and 1 for the Knights.
Excellent job by Bucksar that time to lead Pennell on that quick wide receiver screen. Realized there was no Neshaminy defender close in front of him and gave him that little extra burst. On second and 1, the give goes to Riley Gray, and he explodes through the hole for a first. He had his eyes set on a 4th touchdown right there, but again, it was Nick Sassano coming up to make the tackle.
Gain of 8, good for a North Penn first down.
I mean, when the Knights are getting these 6, 7, 8, 9 yards a carry, I mean, that's just tough to stop on a drive. Neshaminy's got to do something to clog them in. And they're going right up the middle, too, Jordan. They're going right up the A-gap there, and just they're having what they want on the D-line, O-line battle.
First and 10. Again, it's Gray on a counter this time, and he falls forward across the 25 to the 24. That's kind of interesting. The first play of this drive went 10 yards. The second play went 9. The third play went 8. And now the fourth play goes 7.
All right, so it's bold to say this will be a 6-yard gain on 2nd and 3.
If the trend stays true, then it will. And also a score update from around the District 1 6A postseason. The other semifinal game, Penridge on top of Coatesville 10-7. That game late in the second quarter. The winner of this game will meet the winner of that one for a chance to hoist the trophy next week. Here's a give to Pennell. He powers forward. I don't think he quite got 6 that time, so he breaks the streak. He instead picks up 2 yards. That'll be 3rd and just 1, and this is pretty much automatic for North Penn, the way it's gone.
Gain of 2, 3rd down and 1 for the Knights from the 22.
This has been Riley Gray time, and he's out there for 3rd and a yard. North Penn, the storied program that has won 7 district titles, looking to get back to the District 1 6A championship game for the 2nd consecutive year. And now a whistle. And another timeout called by North Penn. I think the play clock might have been running down that time. And so Dick Beck is already down to just 1 timeout remaining in this half. And don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at trentonian.com. The only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. And Peruzzi Buick GMC, where our business is you. Right now at Peruzzi Buick GMC, it's a year-end clearance sale on GMC Sierras. 20% off MSRP on Peruzzi's entire inventory of Sierras, and Buicks offered at 0.9% financing and up to $3,000 off MSRP. Peruzzi Buick GMC, Business Route 1 in Fairless Hills, where our business is you. Third and 1, I don't think there's much secret to what North Penn is thinking right here. Very tight formation. The fullback is Aiden Ashley. The motion man is Jack Silvers. And it's a give to the halfback, Riley Gray. And he got the first. There was some oohs and ahs from the crowd. We were kind of screened, so not sure if maybe the ball came loose there, but even if it did, Gray jumped back on top of it, and he's got the first.
I believe it was a fumble on the field, at least, just from the crowd reaction. When I did hear a ball from a couple fans. But Knights avoid would have been a costly turnover there as they keep this drive moving.
Yeah, North Penn right back into the red zone. It seems like they've been operating in the red area all night long. Here's a pitch. It's Pennell. He's got blockers, and he's got his 2nd touchdown of the night. And North Penn is 5 for 5 on these touchdown drives. They go on top 32-7, and this semifinal matchup is turning into a rout. Matt Pennell from 16 yards out, as his 2 touchdowns are now sandwiched around 3 Riley Gray scores. And North Penn, they feel like a runaway train right now. Matt Marnion got it up and through. And the score is 33-7 with 8:57 to go in the 3rd. And now Neshaminy, Nick, might be getting into desperation territory early in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I mean, that's tough. If you're in Neshaminy and their defense, you've allowed a touchdown on every Knights drive, and this continues to be a house of horrors for them. For the last 2 times they've been here, going back to September 2024, last time they were here. The scoreline was quite similar in that game, too. It's a 37-7 North Penn victory.
It's really been a house of horrors for anybody that has dared step foot into this building. 17 straight wins going back to 2023. Last team to beat North Penn on this field was Central Bucks South, September 29th, 2023. And since then, the Knights have just dominated anybody here at Crawford Stadium. They've dominated their way through this tournament so far. They've dominated their way through this game. Carter Klee, he'll field it from the 30 and start up. He's got maybe 4 or 5 yards on the return. And if you're Neshaminy's offense, you're essentially now being asked to play just perfect football from here on out. But again, even if they do that, the defense has to find some way to turn this thing around.
I mean, the largest deficit in the Nick Fearless era here for Neshaminy. I mean, they're probably just going to stick to what they've been doing and what they are successful at, regardless of the scoreboard. They got to find a way to get points and get points at a premium, because points are a premium with their offense being so limited on the field tonight.
This drive begins from the 35, and it starts with a pitch play. Here's Klee with some open space over the middle, bounces off of bodies, and finally gets brought down. Man, that took about half the defense to get him down, and it was finally Nate Shepian who got him to the turf, and forward progress nets him 4 yards. Brings up 2nd down and 6. At some point, Neshaminy, you would think, has to try to take the top off of this defense. This is the North Penn defense that will actually mix in some zone, something you don't often see from high school teams around this area. Here's a give with Klee, and he's got room. Carter Klee with the biggest play of the night for the Skins. Down to the 42-yard line. And it seems like whenever I suggest that Neshaminy might start throwing the ball, Carter Klee comes up with a big run. That's a 19-yard run for Klee, which is unofficially the longest play of the night for Neshaminy. Neshaminy, they have been plagued by some drops in this game. Mike Sassano with one, a couple by Bobby Lagler. And ooh, Eckert was not ready for that snap, and he just has to fall on top of it, and now we've got a flag, and I gotta believe it's gonna be for an illegal shift because Nick Sassano was kind of just moseying around out there, and that's just because Neshaminy, they weren't set.
That is a legal procedure against Neshaminy.
You would think this penalty would be declined, right? Just because of the, it'd be a loss of 4 yards, although the down marker still shows first. Looks like we're gonna get 1st and 15.
For the Skins from the North Penn 47.
Neshaminy, they have looked out of sorts a couple of times, and you saw it right there. Here's 1st and 15. Here's a handoff with Klee. Skirts through the first wave, and he's out across the 40. And so Carter Klee is starting to get going here in the 3rd. As Neshaminy looks to mount what would be an epic comeback. You got to start somewhere.
You wonder how different this game would be if not for a couple drops and a couple of passes that Neshaminy's completed all season long.
2nd and 7, Eckert hit as he throws, and it's dropped by Sassano, Nick Sassano that time, who tried to make a one-handed grab, but Christian Barnes was just barreling in on Eckert that time and did a nice job just to get that football out of his hands.
It's close to ending up in a Knights defender's hands too, off Sassano.
Here's 3rd and 7. You're probably 4-down territory from here on out. Eckert being chased again. He's just gonna let it fly, and it's intercepted. It's Sal Colella with the pick. And this North Penn dominance continues as Colella picks off Eckert, who made an ill-advised throw, and the Knights will get the football right back.
The 4th interception of the year for Michael Eckert. We have not seen him do that much this year, where he's just throwing it into no man's land.
1st and 10.
And the first turnover of the game for the Skins when they desperately needed something on that drive offensively to come away with some sort of points. And you're giving it right back to the Knights.
Yeah, and for Eckert, who's played nearly mistake-free football this entire postseason, really it's not a great decision that time to let it fly. It was 3rd down. You had another one to work with. But again, sometimes your internal clock just gets sped up when you're facing the constant pressure that Eckert has been underneath so far. And how about this? We're going to get another timeout called by Dick Beck. They're out of timeouts now with 6:48 to go in the 3rd. Maybe just in a postseason game, making sure all those T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. Gives me an opportunity to let you know that celebrating 50 years of business and supporting your community is Haldeman Ford, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Neighbors helping neighbors is what Haldeman Ford does and will continue to do. Coming soon, the area's largest new commercial vehicle center. Haldeman Ford here yesterday, here today, here tomorrow. celebrating their 50th year in business. And don't forget, if you miss any of today's action, you can read all about it in tomorrow's edition of the Trentonian. For your complete local and national news 7 days a week, it's the Trentonian, or online at Trentonian.com, the only newspaper serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer County 7 days a week. It's the Trentonian. Right now, they're going to be writing all about a North Penn masterclass if this game doesn't turn on its head. They've gone 5 for 5 on their drive so far, and Pennell slipped through the defense once again. It's been next to impossible to get these running backs down on initial contact. Just when you think you've got Pennell all bottled up and you've got a good drive starting play on defense, he finds his way to slip through, and he goes all the way out to midfield that time for a pickup of 19.
Almost a similar play when Riley Gray scampered for an 18-yard touchdown run in that first half. Pennell this time finds his way to get through and comes out the other side for a big gain for the Knights offense.
From midfield, it's Riley Gray this time. He tried to slip through. Gets a solid gain. And Luke Howell was there to trip him up, and Howell is a little slow to get back to his feet. Pick up a 5 that time as Howell still limping as he remains out there for this play. A reminder here in Pennsylvania, the running clock rule would go into effect if North Penn were to take a lead of 35 points or more. You need a few more points here in Pennsylvania as you would in New Jersey for that running clock rule, and now we've got a whistle that'll stop the clock. And a penalty going against the Skins. I guess if you're looking for any silver lining, the Neshaminy has kind of figured out some of their penalty woes in this game. Of course, it hasn't really mattered. At least I think this penalty is going against Neshaminy. Didn't even see a flag come out, but the white hat official pointed, no, they're going to say an injury timeout. So Luke Howell, he's limping off. And all of a sudden, this secondary for Neshaminy is getting real thin. Tristan Rivera was already out. Now Liam Brittingham, the sophomore linebacker who saw some time around the midway point of the season when Luke Howell missed a couple games, he'll take over at the linebacker spot. And the play clock, by the way, got reset up to 40, so North Penn can chew some more time off. They'll come to the line with under 5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. And they'll give it right back to Riley Gray, who's spun down around the 40. I think he's going to be about a yard short that time. It's a pickup of 4 for the junior. And that's the other thing, right, with this North Penn team. Matt Pennell, he's going to graduate after this season, go on to play at Navy. Just think about some of the numbers Riley Gray might put up next year in his senior season as the feature back. He's already over 1,000 yards now for this season, and he's kind of split time with Pennell and even Cam Maynor at different points during the season. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but you could be looking at a 2,000-yard rusher. Here's Pennell. He's got enough for the first. Owen Schwartz was there with the tackle. And ho-hum 3rd and 1, right? Move the chains for North Penn.
First down. 1st and 10 for the Knights from the 37.
I'll tell you what, Nick. Of course, we came into this game. We knew North Penn. They were good. This is a different team than we saw back on September 12th. But we've watched a lot of high school football and a lot of really good teams, not just in the SOL National Conference, but really all around Bucks County and even Montgomery County this season. North Penn, they kind of seem like the class at least in District 1 right now. They kind of seem like the gold standard. Here's a give to Pennell, bounces it outside, brought down at the 30. And of course, North Penn has really been the gold standard for the last couple of decades, but just continuing that trend here in 2025. After they were just 3-2 to begin the season, we're thinking, okay, maybe North Penn having a down year this season. Nope, 7 straight wins. They've won all of those games by 2 scores or more, the last 6 by 3 scores or more. They seem like they've got no signs of stopping right now.
No, they really don't. They've really been class, and Dick Beck has been the orchestrator of this program for the last 24 years, and he really should get a lot of the credit for it. They recruit well, they get athletes, and they turn them into really good players, and they put them in positions to win.
Neshaminy jumped off sides that time, and that's going to move the sticks for North Penn. Set up 1st and 10 from the 25 as the Knights look to continue to pitch this perfect game. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns.
You forget about that North Penn team that started the year, the 3-2 team, compared to the team you see now tonight and through their playoff run. I mean, they lost back to Penridge 34-10, and they could end up with them in the championship game next week, depending on the Coatesville and Penridge game results tonight. But a 1-2 matchup possibly in the wings for next week, or a 2-4 matchup.
On 1st and 10, it's Gray. Bounces away. I was going to say, if he was able to break out of that, then I think that would have cemented the fact that he has that invisibility superpower. That time he loses 5 yards as Corey Kenoy-Webb and Mark Ilkovic were there. 2nd and 15 from the 30. I believe that was the first negative play all night for North Penn. No pun intended.
The Knights just think about it too, Jordan, how much they've controlled the clock tonight. Yes, they scored quickly on a couple of their drives, but they've just controlled the clock all night tonight.
They give it to the sophomore Zion Smith as he gets a rep at running back here in the district semifinals. He picks up a couple of yards. If you remember back to week 4, it was a Zion Smith fumble inside the red zone that set up Neshaminy for their go-ahead touchdown drive in that game. North Penn was on top 14-12 and a chance to go up 2 scores. And then early in the 4th quarter, Zion Smith with a fumble. Neshaminy went down the field, took the lead, and picked up the victory. First obvious passing down of the night, Buxar. All day, going deep, wide open, Mason Franick can't bring it in. Man, a diving catch would have been the icing on the cake. But for the All-SOL National First Team selection, Mason Franick, that one just a little too far for him. And it brings up 4th and 13, and in no man's land, it appears the Knights will go for it.
The second deep pass attempt tonight from Buxar. As once again, he just had it. He had it that time, just couldn't come down with it. A great attempt, though, on the dive. And man, North Penn could have had 2 touchdowns just from those 2 passes easily tonight. So this game would be almost near 47-7 if that were the case.
Let's see if Buxar wants to go deep again on 4th and 13. Instead, he's going to step up and run, and he's brought down. There's Owen Schwartz. Schwartz, who had 3 sacks last week, makes a couple of nice tackles on this drive, and for the first time all night, Neshaminy will get the North Penn offense off the field. Skins will take over, trailing by 26 with under a minute to go in this 3rd quarter. 2 names synonymous with excellence in Bucks County is Neshaminy football and the McCafferty family. And still doing business in Lower Bucks is Patrick McCafferty, owner of Discount Auto, Business Route 1 in Langhorne. First and 10 Skins operating from their own 28. They'll keep it on the ground with Carter Klee, and he cannot get out of the grasp of Lucas Oropeza. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9.
2nd down and 9 for the Skins from the 29.
Bobby Lagler and Brock Williams have really been the 2 deep threats for Neshaminy. Lagler's had some issues with drops in this game, but what point does Neshaminy just try to force it to them? That time, the hit knocked the ball out of the hands of Nick Sassano, and it brings up 3rd and 9. But if you're Neshaminy, right, 13 seconds and then 1 more quarter, you would need a miracle, but you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, what you don't want to see from Neshaminy in their offense, and I know they won't, but you just don't want to see them mentally checked out of the game at this point. Considering where the score is, you know they will do their best to fight back into this game.
It's a quick throw to the outside with Sassano on the screen. And an excellent open field tackle by Riley Gray, who just does it all. And that will send us to the 4th. 1 more quarter to go here from Lansdale. North Penn all over Neshaminy, 33-7, 36 minutes down, 12 to go to decide who moves on to the District 1 6A title game. 4th quarter coming for you next on WBCB.
Don't let joint pain bring you down. See how you can get relief at a free joint pain seminar at St. Mary Orthopedics. Joint care experts will inform and answer questions about diagnosing, managing, and treating joint problems and knowing when it's time for a joint replacement. Ready to get back to life? Get to the next free joint pain seminar. Details at stmaryhealthcare.org/joint seminar. It's your health. Expect more.
Great food, fine spirits, and good times are always on the menu at the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne, opposite the SEPTA train station. The Irish Rover is your home for all Philly sports and happy hour every Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. Located at 1033 South Bellevue Avenue, the Irish Rover Station House in Langhorne. On 4th down, Neshaminy is going to opt to punt, trailing by 26. And it's not Michael Eckert out there to punt. It's instead Mike Sassano, and it's fair caught by Matt Pennell across the 40 around the 41-yard line.
1st and 10, North Penn.
And Neshaminy, perhaps that's a sign that they're going to look to perhaps concede this one here in the 4th with North Penn on top 33-7. And the way the Knights have run the ball, you got to believe they're going to be just looking to chew some time off of this clock right now. They would still need a couple of scores to get the running clock going. But they're just going to keep this one all on the ground. There's Pennell. He barges ahead, and he's got 4 out to the 46. I can't say I remember a team, Nick, around this area in high school that had not just one running back like Riley Gray or Matt Pennell, but to have 2 on the same team. And it makes it next to impossible to stop, because then when you've got a quarterback like Matt Bucksar, even if somehow, some way you can slow down Gray and Pennell, they're going to give them the ball enough times that it's going to open up holes in the passing game. You've seen guys just be wide open down the field for North Penn all night. Bucksar's had a little bit of trouble getting it to them. As Gray gets the give on 2nd and 6, and he gets driven to the turf after a gain of just a yard. In fact, that was actually Zion Smith. So Dick Beck maybe starting to get some of those backups in there. Matt Pennell, he's over on the sideline. He had his helmet off for a moment. Riley Gray is going to come in for 3rd down. North Penn just wants to keep this drive going, take as much time off the clock as they can.
You know, Jordan, too, in the area, you mentioned both running backs. How many programs would like to have a Riley Gray or Matt Pennell? And North Penn is lucky and fortunate to have both of them. I mean, they alone would be star standouts on any program in the area. And as you mentioned, too, earlier, that it'll be Riley Gray leading the charge next year for the Knights, as Pennell will move on to the collegiate level, as you'll get to watch him on Saturday afternoons for the Naval Academy.
Gray picked up 3 that time, so it's 4th and a yard. And it looks like North Penn, they're going to go for it. 4th and 1 They want to take off as much time as they can and figure out who they're going to play next week, either Penridge or Coatesville. Handoff, it's Pennell, and it's just too easy for him. That's another first. I mean, he picked up 5 there, but he could pick up a yard just putting his shoulder down and using that physicality. Because we've seen, there's some very talented players, of course, on this Neshaminy defense. Nick Sassano, Carson Schneider, Owen Schwartz, just to name a few, and none of them have been able to stop these guys on first contact. And it's honestly really nothing against the Neshaminy defense. We've seen them perform really well, especially in this postseason, but really at times all throughout the year. The linebacking core, the defensive front have done a really nice job in tackling. Sometimes you just run into teams that have backs like Gray and Pennell, and you can't really do anything but maybe hope they have an off night, as Zion Smith picks up 4 right there to bring up 2nd and 6.
Well, coming into the game, you just thought, I mean, I mentioned it in our open, that Neshaminy was comfortable against CB West to start their playoff run, got the chance thanks to the O.J. Roberts upset in the first round. Neshaminy got to host last week. And, I mean, it's just, you're running into a good team, and, you know, this is why the regular season is so important. You play the regular season to host a game like tonight. Now, even with Neshaminy winning the head-to-head matchup, it just wasn't enough power points for Neshaminy at the end of the season to get a higher seed than they did.
Well, Zion Smith has himself a first down, as he's going to get a chance to add to some of his stats here in his sophomore season.
Zion Smith with the carry for North Penn. Number 45, Liam Brittingham in on the stop.
Zion Smith out there certainly does not look like a sophomore. And he's another guy. He's just kind of stuck behind the trio of Riley Gray, Matt Pennell, and Cam Maynor. Another part of this feeder system at running back for North Penn that once Riley Gray moves on to collegiate football after next season, you're going to have Zion Smith stepping in as the senior leader.
And I'm sure he'll play a role even next year as a junior, as North Penn will just reuse and replenish.
These are important reps for a guy like Smith. He stiff arms Nick Sassano and picks up about 7 there on 1st and 10. Yeah, Cam Maynor and Matt Pennell, they're both going to graduate, so presumably the running back tandem next year is Riley Gray and Zion Smith. So Dick Beck figuring, hey, let's get this kid some reps in district semifinal, because North Penn, they're going to move on to the district title game for now the 2nd consecutive year, and you know next season they're going to be coming back, and depending on what happens next week, either looking to get back and get revenge or defend their title. Guys like Zion Smith and Riley Gray are going to be the focal points. Second and 4, right back to Smith. He bounces outside, and he's got more space. Smith finally ridden down across the 20. The crowd wants a horse collar tackle, and they won't get it. Well, one thing I've noticed that what these North Penn backs do is if there's nothing open up the middle on these runs, is they're quick to bounce it to the outside. Of course, a testament to this offensive line being able to push back that Neshaminy running defense, but it also gives credit to the quick decision-making of these North Penn backs as well. Nothing's open inside, we'll bounce it outside. A score update, by the way, Penridge and Coatesville, 6:12 to go in quarter number 3. The Rams on top 17-7. And so if that score holds, you're going to get chalk in the district championship game, the 1 seed and the 2 seed. Here's Cam Maynor for the first time this game. And he just keeps on fighting. Look at him go. Cam Maynor. He earned all 7 of those yards. First time we've called Cam Maynor's name tonight. He's typically the 3rd down back. We'll give him 6 yards instead of 7. Brienne doesn't like what I just said. I'm just trying to keep, well, some of the fans, of course, 26-point game. You got to get a 6-7 joke in there at some point, right?
That's going viral in basketball now, so I can't imagine what that's going to be for us in a couple weeks. High school basketball season starts.
Maynor, oh man, the turf monster got him.
He's down on the ground. It doesn't look like he's hurt. I think he's just frustrated because there was a lot of space on that right side. The Turf Monster is undefeated. The Turf Monster never misses a tackle, Nick.
No, it doesn't, especially in a drive where you least expect it. It's always there lurking.
Almost impossible to break his tackles. North Penn has done exactly what they've wanted to do on this drive. They've eaten up about 7 minutes of clock. And now it's 3rd down and a long 1. And it's another handoff. It's Maynor. Stutter steps through the first wave. He's got the first down and sets up 1st and goal from the 5.
Gain of 5, good for a North Penn. 1st down, 1st and goal for the Knights from the 5.
I'll tell you what, Nick, if it is North Penn and Penridge next week, I mean, unarguably, probably the top 2 teams, at least in the SOL National all season long, that's going to be cinema.
Oh, absolutely. These 2 teams were on a collision course for a rematch ever since they met earlier in the year. The Knights will have to travel to Penridge with the #1 seed, and that'll be a great matchup next week for the district title.
Again, it's Maynor, and this time he gets forced back. Just a yard that time for Cam Maynor. 2nd and goal from the 4. The one thing Neshaminy, in theory, could have done was call some timeouts and give Michael Eckert a chance to go out there and perhaps tie the all-time record for passing touchdowns in a single season. He's 1 shy of Mason Jones' mark of 33 back from 2016. But you ask him coming into this game, right, that was probably the last thing on his mind. Right back to Maynor, tries to put Carson Schneider into the spin cycle, and Schneider was having none of that. Goes for no gain, and now 3rd and 4. And if you're North Penn, you'll kind of take this, right, because it just lets more time come off the clock. And if you're Neshaminy, of course, it's going to be very tough for the seniors, as it is when every season ends, especially a season that had so much promise like this. But I think for the Skins, it's just the beginning. 1st season of the Nick Felis era. They were just a 6-win team last year, got routed in the 1st round of this tournament. They've certainly taken their fans on a ride this season, and it's been fun. These seniors, they're going to have a lot to hang their hat on here in a 9-win season. As Maynor gets stopped short. Almost looked like that was the goal that time, was to go down and keep the clock moving.
No gain on the play. 4th down
and of course the sting for this loss, it's going to hurt for the seniors and really everybody on this team, but I think maybe once some time goes by and these Neshaminy players are able to look back, be able to recognize just how fun of a season this was, how great of a year really for the Neshaminy program as well. This team certainly has their fair share of memorable moments from this season. Maynor on 4th down. Can he find the end zone? He cannot. Liam Brittingham and Carson Schneider combine on that tackle, and Neshaminy will take over with 1:41 to go. And you got to believe this might just be a couple of handoffs to Carter Klee. Don't risk any injury. Peruzzi Buick GMC, where our business is you. Right now, Peruzzi Buick GMC, it's a year-end clearance sale on GMC Sierras, 20% off MSRP, and Buicks offered at 0.9% financing, up to $3,000 off MSRP. Celebrating 50 years of business and supporting your community. Haldeman Ford, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Here yesterday, here today, here tomorrow. Haldeman Ford celebrating their 50th year in business. Way back almost on the goal line. Eckert will just hand this one off to Caden Weaver, and he goes down in the end zone, and that is the cherry on top of a semifinal Sunday
for North Penn. They pick up the safety, makes it a 35-7 ball game.
And if you're wondering what's happened to Neshaminy's offense tonight, I mean, it's been the story all night. They just never got anything going offensively after a quick start from the Knights. That was the biggest thing coming into the game, was for them to avoid a slow start tonight. And they got off to a slow start at the worst possible time for the third consecutive week, and it did finally catch up to them. That's been in all nights, wire to wire tonight. Final 94 seconds to go, but as you mentioned too, Jordan, a credit to the seniors of the Neshaminy program, the coaching staff, to get this team in the position they were in as the 11th seed to make it this far is something for them to be very happy about. But you have to use it as motivation. It's going to be a long summer for them as they look to regroup. It's going to be a new quarterback, new running backs, and some new receivers too, how it's going to look in 2026. As they'll go back to the drawing board, and the Knights will move on for a date with the Penn Ridge Rams and senior quarterback Noah Keating, who's also one of the top quarterbacks in the area.
Number 99, Stephen Busick will kick for
Yeah, and especially for the players who will be back next season, right? You know that this loss is going to leave a bad taste in their mouths, and this is going to be something that they're going to have to use as motivation next season. You pick up 9 wins this year. The goal next season is to get into double digits and to get past this semifinal round. Zion Smith just takes a knee at the 40.
kick fielded by Zion Smith.
But Neshaminy certainly has the talent. This is a pretty senior-laden team, but some of the underclassmen as well, they're going to return, and they're going to look to return with a vengeance next season. Guys like Brock Williams, Caden Weaver, who very well could be the feature back next year. As North Penn is now just 3 quarterback kneel downs away from punching their ticket back to the District 1 6A finals.
Buckshorn takes a knee. That will bring up second down for the Knights.
North Penn team certainly feels like a runaway train, and if that score holds at Penn Ridge, you get the 1 and 2 seed doing battle next week, the Rams and the Knights. Boy, oh boy, could that one be fun.
Will be the final home game for the Knights, as they will go a perfect 9-0 here in 2025 as they continue their home dominance here at Crawford Stadium, as they'll go on the road to Penn Ridge next week. And congratulations to them to reaching another district title game, and Dick Beck and his coaching staff. They were able, and very nice to accommodate us today for us to be here in the first place.
And 12 for the Knights.
Well, here now is the final snap, and North Penn, the Knights' armor, it remains impenetrable here in this tournament. The Knights will move on to the District 1 6A championship game, where they will meet either Penn Ridge or Coatesville next week. They roll over Neshaminy 35-7 for their 11th win of the season. For Neshaminy, the year will end with a 9-4 record as they fall here on the road in the semifinals. What a season it was for Neshaminy. What a season it has been for North Penn, as they will look to continue it and get over that hump and pick up their 8th district title next week against either Penn Ridge or Coatesville. Thank our sponsors who made portions of tonight's broadcast possible: BCWSA, the St. Mary Medical Center, Team Toyota, Kent's Tree Service, the N Club, Kalinowski Performance Academy, Peruzzi Auto Group, the Trentonian, the Irish Rover Station House, Haldeman Ford, and Discount Auto. Our player of the game, it's going to be North Penn running back Riley Gray. 3 touchdowns, all coming in the first half. Make sure you check out our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts page shortly following the conclusion of this broadcast to catch that interview. A reminder, we will have some Thanksgiving games as well. High school football season not over yet here on WBCB. Morrisville's game, as well as Steiner and Hamilton West, that Turkey Day Classic on the other side of the Delaware. North Penn wins this one 35-7. Their season continues back into the District 1 6A title game next week. One final time now for the entire crew, from a broadcast partner and cameraman Nick Gallagher, for Brianne O'Neill, who produced today's stream. My name's Jordan Hirsch, saying thank you for watching and thank you for tuning in to Neshaminy football all season long. And have a great night, everybody.